Emotions and communication. EI is the ability to recognize feelings, to judge which feelings are appropriate and in which situations they are appropriate, as well as communicating those feelings effectively. Emotions are our experience and our interpretation of internal sensations as they are shaped by philosophy, perceptions, language, and social experiences. When we encourage a stimulus, our bodies undergo a physiological change. These changes can be subtle or they can be dramatic, but they play a role in shaping our emotional experience. For example, when we see a scary movie, our heart rate might increase, our breathing may become shallow, and our palms may start to become sweaty. These physiological changes are triggered by an autonomic nervous system, which responds from regulating our involuntary bodily functions. Once our bodies have responded to the stimulus, we experience an emotion. The specific emotion we experience will depend on a number of factors. These include the nature of the stimulus, our past experiences, and our current mood. However, it's important to note that physiological changes are not the only factor that contribute to our emotional experiences. Cognitive factors such as our beliefs and our expectations also play a role. Our perceptual view of emotions, also known as the appraisal theory, means that it is subjective perceptions that shape what external phenomena means to us. The appraisal theory, as illustrated in the graphic, suggests that our emotions are derived from our interpretations and evaluations of events. The process begins with an external event. This event is then followed by a perception of that event where we become aware of whatever that event was. The next step is the interpreted emotion, which involves our cognitive appraisal of the event's significance and what it means. The appraisal determines the emotional response. Then finally, the response. This is the outward expression of the emotion, which the physiological behavior, or it could be cognitive. This graphic depicts the cognitive labeling view of emotions, which proposes that our emotional experiences are a result of both a physiological arousal and a cognitive interpretation. It starts with an external event, triggering a physiological response like increased heart rate or sweating. However, this response alone does not define the emotion. The next step involves the label for response, which we continually interpret and assign meaning to the physiological arousal based on the context and our cognitive appraisal of the situation. This cognitive labeling is essential. Without it, the physiological arousal would remain very ambiguous. For example, a racing heart could be labeled as fear if we are in a dangerous situation, or it could be excitement if we were on a roller coaster. This graphic illustrates how cultural norms and individual effort shapes emotional expression. It begins with framing rules, societal guidelines that define the emotional context of a situation, dictating what emotion is appropriate. These lead to feeling rules, which are culturally specific norms about how intensely and for how long we should have a specific emotion. The individual then experiences a felt emotion, this genuine, raw emotional response. However, this emotion is often modified through emotion work. And this is the effort to manage feelings to align with these feeling rules that we have. This can involve suppressing it, exaggerating it, or even faking it. The result is a modified felt emotion, which may or may not be the same as the initial feeling. Finally, the adjusted emotion. This is the emotion that is expressed through emotional expression, which is the outward communication of how you're feeling. This process highlights how culture influences not just how we express emotion, but also how we experience and manage those emotions. It's demonstrating the complex interplay between societal expectations and individual emotional experiences.